Okay, this story comes from Richard Winton and Brittany Mejia at the Los Angeles Times. Here we go again. Chris Brown. So, following a bizarre hours long standoff, LA police officers began searching the Tarzania home of singer Chris Brown on Tuesday as they hunted for a weapon the performer is said to have used to threaten a woman. Shortly before 1 p.m., officers entered Brown's sprawling home after taking much of the morning to obtain a search warrant. Brown's attorney, Mark Garagos, was on the scene as LA Police Department Robbery Homicide Division detectives searched the property. At least half a dozen people exited the home, a few of them holding their hands behind their heads as police patted them down. "We're getting the cooperation of everyone that came out," Lieutenant Chris Ramirez said after informing reporters that officers had served a search warrant. "Once all of the occupants are removed from the residence, they will be interviewed to determine what occurred," Ramirez said. No arrests have been made. Garagos told the Times that he was inside the home with Brown, who denies any wrongdoing. The warrant was served shortly after Garagos arrived. Deputy Chief Bob Green had described the standoff between Brown and officers as long and protracted. Come on. The search was sparked by a call for help from a woman who said she had been threatened by the performer, police sources said, with officers first arriving at Brown's home in the 5,000 block of Corbin Avenue about 3 a.m. Tuesday. The woman, Bailey Curran, told the Times that Brown, who has had several previous run-ins with the law, pointed a gun at her during a violent rage before she ran outside to call police. Curran said she and a friend had gone to Brown's home with a business associate who was invited by the musician. She wanted to talk to Brown about future projects, he said. When she went inside, a handful of people were milling about and chatting, Curran said. Curran said she eventually went to Brown's backyard to get some fresh air. Her confrontation with the musician erupted soon after she walked back into the house, she said. A man was showcasing diamond bracelets, necklaces, and watches inside the home, she said. Curran said she began to admire a diamond cross necklace. "I don't know if it was Chris's friend or how he was related, but that's when he told me to back away from the diamond necklace and started cussing me out and calling me names," she said. "That's when Chris pulled his gun and told me to get out. He said, 'I'm sick of you girls. Get the F out of here.'" Curran said she ran outside with her friend when Brown pointed the gun at her face, but she was forced to wait by the home's front gate until Brown's associates retrieved her phone, which she had to hand over as a condition of going inside the home, she said. When an associate arrived with Curran's phone, she said he'd only give it back to her if she signed a non-disclosure agreement. Curran says she refused, snatched her phone from the man's hand, and ran away. The man ran to a Jeep to give chase, but Curran and her friend made it to a neighbor's property and hid under an SUV parked outside. When the Jeep drove by, Curran said, Brown's neighbor called police. On Tuesday, officers attempted to enter the home and were told to get a search warrant. The police sources said detectives then waited for a warrant to search Brown's home for the weapon. Meanwhile, Brown took to his Instagram account Tuesday morning, sharing videos in which he railed against the police and media and said he was being unfairly portrayed as a villain. In the videos, he said he woke up to helicopters overhead and officers at his gate and maintained that he was not guilty of the accusations. Good luck. Good luck, Chris Brown. Yeah, you gotta do better with these ladies, man. You have to be very careful who we allow into our space. But I mean, if he did pull a gun and told her to get out of his house, I mean, hey, she's on his property. If he did pull a gun and said, "Hey, get out of here, get out of my house, I want you out." He didn't shoot the gun, but even with that, Chris has had a history of some things, run-ins with the law. So we want to make sure that we are keeping up on this story. If you want more Black news, please subscribe at yourblackworld.net. Again, that's yourblackworld.net. My name is Yurima Karama at Your Black World News.